This is the QuickFlex parser tool. QuickFlex streamlines and simplifies the tedious process of parsing log lines by using what we call tokens that will substitute the regex in log lines. These reusable tokens make it easier for a user to understand what phrase in the log line is being turned into regex or tokenized, which also speeds up the creation of parser files. Ultimately, the parser files are fed into an ArcSight connector and generate events that will be seen in ESM, in CSV format, and so on. This is the opening page right when you launch QuickFlex. It's create a new project. We also have open an existing project, and we have a quick overview. The workflow summary for QuickFlex includes creating the base regex first, then you can create your tokens, create your token filters, test your token filters, and finally, when everything looks good, generate your parser file. Today I'm going to create a new project using this Aruba log. So I'm going to call my project Aruba Mobility Controller. And this will be version 1. Going to choose my log file here and project directory, which is a mandatory field, to here. Right when you create your project, you can see that immediately all of the log lines are available to be viewed. Longer log lines can be expanded. You can see how many base parsed, base unparsed, complete, incomplete log lines you have. Since I just created this project, nothing is complete yet. I have not parsed my base. It reflects right here in the token filter statistics. No token filters match yet. I can turn those statistics on and off. And I can also search log lines, so maybe authenticate. And all of my log lines containing the word authenticate show up. You can also do an F1, and that will bring up the help. The help updates according to whatever window you're on. So if I press F1 for base regex, now the base regex help will come up. Also, another feature in the log view window is that you can change the log file you are working on within this project. You can update the project properties and export the project, save as, and exit. First thing I'm going to do is create my base regex. So I'm going to click on a log line and then open up the base regex editor. Here is where you will create your base regex. For this demo purpose, I've created my base regex already, so all I'm going to do is paste it in right now. And as you noticed, it turned purple right here. The purple highlighting indicates that your base regex has complete matchings. You can confirm it by clicking on this matching details, which brings up a side-by-side view of which regex matches what value. I'm going to tokenize it now and save. Now what's happened is each of these regexes here have been tokenized down here. I can also click on these different parts of the regex and see how it correlates in the raw log. What I'm going to do now is rename my base tokens. This will make it easier for me in the long run. So let's see. First one will be host name, type string. Save that. And then I am going to go on and create the other tokens on the back end, and we'll bring that up shortly. Okay, I've now created all of my tokens. As you can see, they've all updated here. You don't necessarily need to have a type for every single token. It's okay to leave it blank. The next thing I want to do is match up my message ID token to my ID token. And I've named it ID, which makes it easy for me. The message token is named message. I'm going to turn on additional data, and now I'm going to create my mappings for the tokens of base regex. So let's see. One thing to note is the vendor and product are already included in the mappings, and they'll come out to be Aruba for vendor and mobility controller will be the product. So those ones you don't need to create, but the rest you will need to. So let's see, device process name, I want map to process. I can see for an operation of none, I just need simply my token name, which is process, and save. I'm going to create the rest of the mappings now. I've now created all of my mappings. My base token list is all filled out. I've updated my message ID token and message tokens. Now I'm going to click save. And what you'll see here after I click refresh is that the base section of each log line is going to update in purple if it's highlighted as a match. Okay, I can see now my base parsed, all of them are parsed, 0 unparsed, and now is a good time to go on to creating my tokens. So here we have the token manager, and this is the best place to create all your tokens. The first token I'm going to create is the destination username. So I'm going to call it destination username. My regex will be a $! question mark. I want this to capture and I want it to be mandatory. I want to map my destination username token to destination username. I'm going to create the rest of my tokens now. Okay, I've now created all of my tokens, and now I am ready to start making my token filters. I'm going to make my first token filter using line 1 right here. I'm going to give it a message ID with all the messages that I know contain this regex. I'm going to replace this word failed with the regex W, but I don't want it to capture, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I am going to tokenize this word admin by double-clicking, which will highlight, and then right-clicking the word to bring up my token list. I want this to be my destination username, and just to verify my token details right here, yes, this is what I want to do. Next, I will do the source address, port, destination address, and maybe I'll do my connection type, which I've made into additional data.connection type. And then finally, I will do my port. So the cool thing is that I don't need to map any of these tokens here because I already have them set up in my token filter, in my tokens. So when you have it assigned here, you don't need to do it anymore in the mapping if it's a simple mapping. If it's more than a simple mapping, as in it contains operations, etc., then you will need to do a mapping here. But this token filter looks good. My entire line is still highlighted, indicating that it's still a complete match. So I will go ahead and save this. close and see how my token filter applies to my log file. Okay, I have 7 matches for the submessage that I created. I have some visual statistics here, and now we can see that my completed has moved to a count of 7. We can also see that I can now generate a parser file. Here we have the regex, the tokens that I renamed, additional data enabled, my mappings for base, and my first token filter that I created. You can see that all the mappings are here. Even though I created connection type before destination port, it is still coming out in the correct order. I have the ability to export it, but I'm going to go on and create more token filters before doing that. So I'm going to cut the video real quick and come back when I have all of my log lines parsed. I now have all of my log lines parsed. My token filter stats have now updated, so I have 111 single token filter matches. I can break it down into scene. I made a default token filter where every single logline will match. I have one filter that matches 39, another that matches 18, 7, and 2. I can also view here which token filters have matched per logline when the number is greater than 2. So just as a quick overview, you can click this and see what matches what. By clicking on the Token Filter Manager, you can run tests on your token filters to further verify that all your filters are parsing as expected. By default, base will be selected, and then you can go ahead and click on one of your token filters and display results. If you click on one of these checkboxes here, you can also view and potentially edit your token filter if you need to do so. In this tab, you can enable, disable, move up and down, edit, and delete your token filters if you need to. Once everything looks good, you can generate the parser here and export your file. The file name .sdkrfilereader.properties will automatically be inputted here, and so all you have to do is click Save.